Get the alpha, be the alpha.
Welcome back to the PGL Open Bucharest, the second minor of a very long season from 2017 into 2018 and onwards for the final destination, the International 2018. Teams have to get plenty of points before they get there, though, that's for sure. This is just the start of the road. Back at the panel, Winter's rejoined us, of course, and Fogged is back with us as well for this upper bracket. Mineski versus EG.
Hello.
I just want to quickly recap on where we are so far. Just get your thoughts, really, as to what you've made of the first couple of days.
Well, it's been pretty exciting. I think we've seen some shockers. We've seen.
That's not what you said earlier. when I said, what did you make of that game? You were like, pretty boring.
I mean, that
pretty boring.
The second game, I felt like it was going to go a different way. To be honest, I thought that Mineski was going to actually take it over Navi, because Navi's draft looked a little bit strange to me, just because of the way they picked heroes. They had like Weaver, and then they.
But that was Mineski doing that though, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, there was some weird stuff going on in that build, in that game. I was looking at Pugna with like Blink Mech or Blink Greaves, and then I was looking at Brewmaster with no Blink Dagger. It was some bizarre stuff for sure.
Yeah.
But now I'm excited now for this series, because we've seen EG just got to watch a lot of Mineski. They learned a lot of their strategies. They get to see the Venge twice. Get to see the priorities of the way that they play.
If there's any trouble here though, Winter, they both just played pretty long best of threes. Effects on them? Do you think? I mean, obviously EG are fine. They've had a rest.
They play 8-10 games a day.
They don't care. It's okay. They don't care. All right, let's get into the lineups for these two teams. We'll start with the team who should be well known to you, Evil Geniuses. The comeback kids are back in the house, ready to go. As you can see on your screen, RTZ just a little bit of fun with crit. Comebacks seem to be a thing for this brand, this organisation. We've seen yet again how resilient they are in that first game.
Yeah, they had the longest game of the tournament, 82 minutes. We didn't think that they were going to win that one, but they held strong. The perseverance of this team is strong.
I don't think Phil even thought they were going to win. He went for the...
He went the damage talent.
He was like, I'm getting the 150 talent or 150 damage over the gold talent, because the game might actually just end at that point, and you never know.
Yeah, they did. They definitely didn't seem confident, but they still had that perseverance, and I mean,
they played really well.
They did play really well. Their high ground defense was impressive.
And Sumail went for like 5th, 6th net worth and to top of the net worth at the end of the game.
He went from having 2 items to 4 items in the span of 10 minutes. It was he walks by and I was like, dude, good job. He's like, I got farm. I don't know. something happened.
Well, he likes it when he gets farm as well.
Yeah.
As you can see, doing reasonably well so far here at the PGL Open Bucharest.
Well, you talk so much about Sumail all the time. Like, people talk so much about Sumail. Yeah. But I think RTZ is also a very important player to shut down. He was actually the farmers, like the hero that has the most farm at the start with the Necro. And he was like tanking so much for his team, doing a lot of work.
He was started versus dual lane as well, and he was doing incredibly well.
You don't really want to like overcommit. I think certain teams, when they play against EG, they would, we have to target Sumail. We need to shut this guy down. But they're actually forgetting, what about RTZ? What about Universe? Well. They're actually getting a lot as well. You want to shut down him enough to the point where he's already slowed down, but you make sure you take care of the rest too. You don't want to just focus everything you have on him.
On paper, they're
too many stars, don't they?
Yeah, on paper, you look at the lineup, you're like, damn. Even the coach, you look at SVG, and he's very highly renowned amongst the scene for that reason. But Mineski also, I mean, they've got some really big star players. Daryl.
Absolutely.
Daryl crushing it all the time lately.
They do have some mega stars in their own team as well. So why don't we check out their star-studded lineup? Well, we're 2 minors in, and so far so good for Southeast Asia as far as Mineski are concerned, because this mixed bag of players, all-star names, have come together very well, gelled very nicely, and have currently put themselves in a position to make the top 4 for the second consecutive weekend at a minor. All means points as well, you know. So it, like, every time you come to a minor, if you can get top 4, grab a few more points, that's going to add up over the course of the season, and they're already off to a good start.
Exactly, and I really like that they've been kind of diversifying themselves with their drafts. I mean, they're picking Venge. Who the hell else is picking Venge? These type of lineups,
and it's working as well. That's the key point. Is it's working really well when they put that Visage together.
It's a lot of physical damage, and you know, there's a couple heroes that you look at and that Nana plays, and that's maybe the one that's the most predictable. I think he's been playing very similar kind of heroes. His Tinker, his Mirana are the 2 big standout ones.
Flashy ones, the one that can actually do special moves, you know, make certain plays, steal the steal Aegis, steal Roshan, whatever it is that they need to. They have this system where he's playing the flashy hero, Mushi is gonna play the traditional, old school, very stable, reliable heroes. The anti-mage, the Venge, the Medusa.
The Veno.
Yeah, although the
Don't say Medusa.
you know the builds can be questionable the way he buys items, but the guy is doing, you know, what he's supposed to do in the team.
Exactly.
For his role.
Except for his Pug. Was not the biggest fan of that Pugna game, but it was also pretty rough for him.
I mean, that's also about flexibility, though, isn't it, in the team? Because even though he didn't have a great game with it, it does tell other teams, well, they've chosen the Pugna earlier. They do have some flexibility in this team as to where it can go. So it still keeps them thinking in the draft.
That's for sure.
I think he can actually use the hero well. I saw him last week. He was like spamming Pugna a lot in pubs. He may not have a lot of like success in pubs. I was watching his games, but I think he understands the hero. What does the hero do? And more importantly, I think the hero fits the role where you want him to be on a hero that plays around with the team, like Avenge, Pugna, Medusa, and the rest of the other 2 cores will be playing. Like Ice will be on the more greedy hero.
It's really true, because even at Star Ladder, when he did play the Pugna, he went for a more unorthodox kind of build. He did go for the same like Blink, but he didn't go the standard Dagon build that we've been seeing so often. He goes for this like different kind of build that fits like the utility lineup for his team.
Yeah, it sort of like gives the team like a good balance, you know. Sometimes they actually have itemization problems, I would say, like especially the second game earlier today.
Yeah.
But I think overall for the team, he's actually in the right place and doing the right things, giving them the balance that Nana is a very flashy player, Ice is a very greedy player. So you need someone to actually balance everything out. He's not too greedy, and he just does his things with the team.
Makes a lot of sense with Daryl being that, you know, the big flashy offlaner.
Yeah. Now, talking of flashy offlaners, why don't we do that as our featured matchup? Because I think this of all the matches that we get, putting these 2 head to head is fantastic. Universe on one side, super exciting, does all these great things in game, very mechanically skilled, high skilled in every game. Both flexible, and then you've got this whole weird kind of flashy, you know, I can play anything, anywhere, I can switch to a different lane and swap with different players. It's such a contrast, and yet so good players.
They are both very farm heavy, though, as offlaners. That is the one kind of similarity, but yeah, definitely different, because Universe is usually the more of like the big playmaker, while Ice is just like this. I mean, he does make the plays, of course, but he plays like these heroes that are different. I think
the word best to describe Universe is reliable. He's very reliable as an offlaner.
I mean, we rarely ever get to the end of a match and go, that Universe has had a poor game, hasn't he?
Yeah,
I can't remember the last time we ever said that.
He's always there, you know. But the thing is, with Ice, is like he's up and down, but he can actually go.
I was going to say, do you think his ceiling is higher in terms of what he can perform?
Yes, he definitely has a higher ceiling, but he also makes, you know, mistakes, and he has bad games more than Universe. That's why I like the word reliable when it comes to Universe.
They pick Ice more of these risky heroes from time to time, I guess. And while Universe plays,
one guy plays Timbersaw, the other guy plays Faceless Void. So
and Jakiro, and
you get the difference between the 2 of them.
Yeah,
and they have to play around both of them very differently as a team. Like that's the beauty of Dota, right? you fit in a different piece, and the support has to play differently to accommodate this guy.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Do you feel like maybe EG
you know what? If you actually swap both of them, I actually want to see what happens. If you actually swap both of them on their own teams,
right?
There would be no room on EG. If Ice goes to EG, there'd be no room on that team. Everybody would just be like farming. Everyone would just be farming. Who's gonna do stuff now?
I'd be super confused about like what does he do in that team? How does he even sit down next to any of them? There's not that much room in the like.
They'd pretty much have to be like, all right, Artur, you're getting sacked every single game. Sumail and Ice are just gonna be
your lane on
the farmers. Yeah.
Please defer and be a support.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pick him some Venno.
It's gonna be fun. Moving towards the draft, what do you expect in this?
We've seen a lot of variety. I don't know. Pogna looks to be probably the most common one between them.
I think
Jakiro as well.
Jakiro.
It's been well used, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's been effective though? I mean,
yes,
this is all joke aside. Do you think it's effective?
He's a very effective hero because from a position 5, he does so much. Wave clear. He's good in team fight. He sieges towers well.
Yep.
He's really good in the lane as well. Very hard to take down at level 1. Very tanky.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that in the Na'Vi game, didn't we? I mean,
yep.
even though he was kind of dead where he was because he had no support, but it took 3 of them to get rid of him in that lane.
And he's a very flexible and versatile pick for EG. For Mineski, I'm not sure if they actually want to put Ice on that hero because it doesn't.
Right. It's not his style.
Yeah, it doesn't fit his category. I'm sure he can play the hero, but they probably don't want him to play that hero.
I think we'll probably see it picked, but I don't think we'll see it mid again. Not because like they don't believe in it, but I think it's just too difficult. It requires no mistakes.
I mean, I asked Fear at the end, do you think that's it? We're done in the Jakiro Sumail mid thing, and he was like, we might see it again.
Yeah.
So I don't think they felt like it was massively disappointing. I mean, statistically, it was very poor, and
sure,
Sumail tweeted back to me afterwards, said sorry for disappointing you.
Yeah.
And then said Bloodseeker overpowered. So, maybe it's just that one matchup. Maybe he didn't like that particular matchup.
Yeah.
You have to make no mistakes.
Matchup specific. I think Jakiro definitely does really well against, very easy example would be a TA. Jakiro just steamrolls.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're destroyed.
Yeah. So if you get those kind of matchups that Jakiro can actually own the matchup, I think it will still be viable to have Jakiro on mid lane.
Is there any pro teams who are going to pick a TA into a Jakiro even if they think he might play in mid?
We haven't seen TA much.
It's very rare, isn't it?
Yeah, he's kind of just fallen off because of these heroes that
Venno,
counter him. Venno, Viper, Nitro, Viper, or I just said Viper. Razor, Viper again.
Viper. Also good heroes as well.
I want to see Sumail on more flashy heroes, though. To be honest,
I mean, you want to see him on the Storm, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that's what you want to see him on. Maybe we get it in Game 1. We're underway in our draft for Game 1, and bans in particular are going to be important here, Winter.
Nyx Assassin for EG.
I think bans in particular of the playstyle. Both teams are going to put a lot of focus on the lane. Winning lanes is going to be extremely crucial. In the first series earlier today, EG focused so much on winning the lanes. Once they sense weakness, they just went aggro tri-lane against Vici, and they dominated the laning phase. And Spirit Breaker is like a hero that they are relying a lot on. In the first series, Crit was playing in one game. I think Fear was playing it the other game because there was an IO. Yeah, Crit was playing the IO. So they both play the hero, and it's a very aggressive hero that allows you to snowball and win your lanes very well.
And have that battle in the mid lane, of course.
You see the first 2 bans. Just look at the first 2 bans. One is Spirit Breaker, one is NS. Those 2 heroes serves the same purpose in a game. They're gonna try to fight it out in the lanes, give you some advantage, and later in the game they give you vision. And IO, so they ban out the IO as well. I think IO is one of EG's deadliest heroes. It's very, very difficult to fight their IO.
Crit's one of the best players of it.
Yeah, EG and Liquid, I would say both of the teams are very, very good at the hero.
Yeah. Do they ban the Nyx?
Or the Lich, though, or the Lich. Because Lich could be really, really instrumental in this matchup because it's going to be a lot focused on the lanes, winning the lanes. So this kind of heroes could pop up.
You don't feel like they kick out the Shaker here? Because that's also one of those.
You mean for Mineski?
Yeah.
I think they probably shouldn't though. For me personally, I think Shaker is really good against Na'Vi because of how Na'Vi play and how they're so aggressive on the mid lane. You can actually cover the mid laner, and in the team fights, it's really good against Chen because you have a lot of creeps around. So I probably expect them to make a switch up. Like even during Starlighter, every series they were doing different kind of openings against a different opening. That's a very good sign of a well-prepared team.
So they do take out that Nyx.
So Lich is in the pool.
Lich, Pugna.
Spirit.
Yeah, Earth Spirit. Earth Spirit also could be good. Like,
and Veno.
Of course, and the Veno's there as a first pick.
Of course, they won all their Veno games that started.
Yeah, they did win. Yeah, Mushi actually played it incredibly well. He did exactly his job. Did exactly what he needed to do.
I like the fact that they've studied, right? They've gone, okay, we have to play a specific way to beat Na'Vi. It's a specific type of draft. It's not massively in our comfort zone, so we're going to specifically draft it. Then we can go, but when we play EG, it's much more standard. We can play the way we want to play.
That's really like a good sign of a team being prepared and understand how to. You don't want to draft the same thing over and over again against any opponent, though. It's not going to work very well. Like, even when you look at Liquid, why are they so successful? There's like 2-3 ways of drafting, and they choose it specific. They tailor-make it against their opponents.
Even though sometimes I get the feeling that it does feel like they just want to play the same thing every game.
Except for Miracle. He wants to play a different thing every game.
I mean, he's going for some sort of record, I think, isn't it?
Brood, Veno every game.
Brood, Veno, man. I mean, this game we could see Broodmother too, dude. Both sides play it.
Could do, yeah. Pugna first pick for EG. They did value Pugna pretty highly.
Do they take the Earth Spirit, you think?
Who has more green now? I think either side would want the Earth Spirit in this scenario. Earth Spirit Veno. That is so
I don't think you want to give that.
That's so difficult to fight into.
Yeah. It's very good versus the Pugna too.
But EG likes Kunkka as well. Kunkka is also really, really good against those kind of heroes.
They just take the Lich.
Still the Lich, like I mentioned, like this hero is going to be very prominent in this series.
I mean, it does mean that Mineski could leave Earth Spirit in if they wanted to. Do you feel like that might be a phase 2 ban though? Because EG know that they like it?
I still think Earth Spirit and Veno is also very good together now. I
so
think
much team
there's no real risk in them picking it now, is there?
Yeah, but I think Japs might actually consider one more hero, Clockwork. He likes Clockwork against Pugna.
Do you think this early?
Yeah.
He's played it. He's played on the 4 role as well.
Yeah.
Good call.
I still prefer the Earth Spirit, but I know that guy likes this hero.
Yeah.
He can buy.
I mean, if he values it more now and he feels like it's a phase 2 ban anyway.
You know, I asked him, and you know what he told me? Oh, it's easier to farm with Clockwork. I can buy a Midas. I can rocket the creeps and farm. Earth Spirit, I actually don't have that many opportunities to farm. He actually said that to me. I'm like, you greedy player.
I mean, he's not wrong, right? He's pretty true.
Well, there's nothing wrong with greed.
No.
Greed is good.
So if you pick Earth Spirit here, you give away that's 100% your 4. Here, they can still run it in 2 different positions.
Yeah,
so.
I guess that's true. That is true.
Relatively early AM ban, just to make
Pugna.
sure.
Pugna.
I think we've seen it earlier today, where a team picks Pugna, they ban out the AM.
This is the same opener EG used versus Thunder.
So EG is probably gonna like fit in like a Kunkka somewhere. I think they're gonna maybe pick Kunkka Lich, a lot of team fight with the Pugna.
They need catch.
Yeah, Kunkka gives them catch, and it's really good against Veno and Clockwork because of the buff. That ban I like it, because they have Pugna.
Yeah, you're super squishy versus Visage in both ways. As the Soul Assumption nuke gets amplified
it's
and
the
you're
birds,
1 armor.
no, you can't channel your ultimate.
And
your
the birds, exactly.
The birds just literally own you. So for Mineski, they removed the Bloodseeker. That was, I think, every game they picked Bloodseeker in the series against BG. It's a hero that is very annoying and very lane dominating as well.
Yeah, Vici had it twice and EG had it the first game around. Also Bloodseeker Pugna, pretty annoying combo.
So the Brood is still open. They ban out the Lone Druid. So Brood is open. What else is open? Necro's open.
Yep.
So like, a lot of the heroes are quite open here.
I think they still pick Crit's hero here, one of the catching heroes.
It's gonna be either Kunkka or Taz. What else does he play?
Wyvern.
But
Wyvern and Lich.
Then will be Wyvern and Lich. Then I don't know if I like that too much.
I'm trying to think of heroes that aren't so afraid of the Clockwork, but I don't think that's really
like a Chinese team will probably pick.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So you can get out of the cogs, something along those lines. But I think the Kunkka is just the most comfortable. I mean, but that's like literally doing the exact same draft that they had versus Thunder.
Yeah, it's good with the Pugna and the Lich. Gives them team fight. It protects the Pugna. Gives them catch. I think it's quite good.
Yeah, same thing.
So they are gonna have a very team-orientated opening here. But Clockwork's good against all 3 heroes, to be fair.
Yes.
If the Clock has a good game, you get Blade Mail. So in that scenario, you would actually consider maybe giving a Clockwork a call position. You're promoting him to the offlane because Clockwork is so good against like at least half of the heroes here that EG drafted. So maybe you would consider giving the Clockwork a core position.
They can still keep it very open-ended, but
Like like picking a Mirana, keeping everything open.
Or do you think maybe grabbing they grabbed for the silencer very early in the last time around, and this is something they have a clock to already start the fight.
Silencer's good against Konka because you stop the combo.
Mm-hmm.
I actually quite like that idea, and they have Clockwork. Or either, if it's not Silencer, I think maybe they will go back to the Jakiro so they can actually push and have stronger team fight.
I think either one sounds good, yeah. Yeah, they go the Silencer again. I really like this one versus what EG's got, because then you can stop kind of like that big team fight. You just start with the Clockwork on the Pugna.
No, it's like the Konka. You screw up with the Konka's combo a lot.
Yes.
That's what I like the most with the Silencer. So EG right now, they're probably gonna pick like a very strong core in the lane. What do you like here? Like, what is RTZ gonna play here?
Necro.
Necro? Yeah, I'm thinking about
Monkey.
Does he play Monkey?
He does.
He's
been spamming the crap out of it in FPL.
Yeah, but
now.
in officials, has he played?
In the last 4 weeks, trust me, the most played hero he's had in FPL.
But Monkey is not so good against Veno, but he's...
So you never know when he's doing it like that. You never know whether it's him trolling or having some fun or or practicing. You just don't know what he's been doing.
The other hero I think that might be good would be Alchemist, because right now it's gonna be like a very slow farmish game.
Right.
So this is, I guess, could be either one of their heroes.
Could be more likely Samael.
But RTZ has been playing. I was watching this. He was streaming before he came here. Like he played every game Mirana.
Very good hero here versus Clock and versus Veno. You can outrange the Veno wards, and you can always get out of the cogs.
And they have the X mark into arrow, so very good synergy between that.
Good burst too with the Pugna.
Yeah, we made the point a few times,
but a lot of single target though. Like most of it is like kind of single target.
So they core here for Mineski.
They go back for the Pug.
Yep.
Another way of jumping in, starting the fight with Silencer. Always good to have multiple initiations with Global.
So the last one will be either Ice hero or Ice is gonna play the Clockwork, and they're gonna pick a position for you. I think probably Jeps is gonna, because Jeps really likes playing Clockwork. So they're gonna give Ice some. Ice is gonna be playing a more farm heavy hero because their other two cores, Veno and Pug, they're heroes they're gonna make space. So Ice is definitely gonna play some hero that is gonna be much more greedy. What's
maybe the off-lane Wyvern?
Yeah, Wyvern is open. What else? Brood is banned. I don't see them picking.
His top 5 right now: Timber, Visage, Wyvern.
But Timber is, I don't feel Timber is that good this game.
Magnus and the Brood is the other one, of course, we've not spoken about.
Timber, I'm not so sure. Because they have a lot of magic, and Pugna is quite good against Timber, Konkamia. So I'm not so sure.
Not a fan of Timber. Yeah. There's no like real strength direct.
Wyvern maybe actually would work this game.
Wyvern's all in there, and so is Night Stalker right now.
Yeah, he could play the...
Hasn't played it a huge amount, but he has played it.
We have seen the offlane Night Stalker,
But it's banned. NS is banned.
Oh, it is?
It is banned, yeah. Oh, it's banned first too.
Yeah, so probably he's gonna play Wyvern. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure about the Timber. I don't think he will play Timber, but who knows? Because he really likes playing the hero. Sometimes even in a...
It's his most played hero, by the way.
Yeah, even in a bad situation, he would still want to play the hero.
He would, yeah.
Okay, yeah. This is also one of his favorite hero, offlane Monkey King. So that's actually gonna give them very strong team fight. Monkey and Pug, those two combination is really strong together.
Lots of magic damage on EG already for it though, and they have Lich armor.
No, the thing with the monkeys, it gives them the right balance because Veno, Pug, magic. So the other core has to be some physical hero.
Right.
So that is actually a very good pick to bind everything together, and he can buy Diffusal against the Pugna. So I think that's probably one of the best picks they can have. For EG, kind of still open, right? They could pick Sumail's hero, or they could put Sumail on the Mirana.
Yep. They usually leave Samael's hero till last.
No, apparently.
Apparently not this time, though.
CK.
CK against Monkey, I guess. Early stage is okay, before Monkey has too many items. But there's Veno and Pug.
I like what EG's got.
You like him?
And they have the green hero.
They've got the Pug.
Oh, they've both got a green hero, sort of.
I think Pugna Lich can stall the game out long enough for the CK to get massive, and I think CK's got a pretty favorable matchups in general as the game progresses.
Okay.
I'll go for EG.
Gonna go for EG. Okay, so the former EG player goes for EG.
Kappa.
Veno is the stronger green hero.
Benno is the stronger green hero.
So you're going to... Oh, we're doing this again. Huh?
Okay, all right. So 1 for EG and 1 for Mineski.
No
Correct?
curse. No curse.
No curse. Okay, good.
Let's go. Don't leave me hanging.
Oh my goodness. They've cursed teams all day long. Luckily, last time out, they didn't manage to curse anyone. This time, they've split decisions, so that can't happen either. Thank the Lord for that as we get into our final match of the night. It is the winner's bracket match. Game 1 is just around the corner.
See, I'm happy to have my own personal expert here that can actually give me an answer and not give a split decision. Who wins the game, Ben? Who wins the game?
Well, firstly, I'm disappointed that Paul didn't give us a good throw.
Yeah. I think he's getting tired in his old age. He just can't keep up with the throws every single time. Where's that creativity juice? Obviously, he's not drinking what EG's drinking.
I'm going with Mineski.
Because he's not sponsored by them.
Yeah. You're right.
That's a missed opportunity right there. Why are you not sponsored by them?
I'm way more down with Mineski's play today. I think it's just been a lot better overall.
Yeah. Over evil geniuses who keep falling to Bloodseeker and seem to have real issues with this hero just in general.
That hero's hard to deal with, man. Your normal defensive items don't work. BKB, Glimmer, Force Staff. Like, you have to actually build completely differently, which just makes it awful. So, yeah. Mushi is a pretty boss Venno, too. As boss as Vennos can be. Not a huge fan of playing the hero or watching it, but I know it is one of the best this patch.
Man.
Oh, what a sick courier.
Dude, Venno was amazing. You like the courier? I mean, which one? Dire or Radiant?
Fire Roshan that Ice sizes.
All right. I like how you don't even say like it's the actual courier. We're looking at the Monkey King himself on both of our screens.
Yeah.
Who's walking around as the courier. We can show you that later when we get back to our primary observer. That along with the Bald Eagle, he was one of the first ones to show up, but I love Samael's Mirana mount. It's just a very majestic beast, if anything. But yes, currently a courier is looking to snipe out the Radiant Rune, hiding in the trees like Monkey King, but we almost need to go perspective mode on just how cute that little courier. Yeah, look at him. Look at him burn. It's the way he waddles. It's the way the Roshan and his arms swing from side to side. He's like courier on a mission.
Well, I just like how the pouch is like half its size. So early game, Lich is actually pretty terrible at runes. So we kind of glossed over the fact that Mineski were actually able to get 3 runes. So this is actually not great. You don't want the Monkey King to have a lot of farm this game. He gets a lot of farm. He can almost like one-shot the CK illusions. And you need those things to stay alive. Yeah, I think Monkey King could be the problem hero. He has a pretty good time already because he already dragged away the creep wave. And yeah, Lich terrible at level 1, so I can definitely see them not contesting that level 1 bounty.
Yep. So let it go. Move on. You'll have a good time still in your lane. Is this really going to be the greatest thing in the world, though, to have like Pugna going one-on-one with the Monkey King as opposed like actually like pushing CK up? Like I know you said like the Lich is up here, so that like the laning is okay, but is this sacking too much once the Venomancer starts having more harassment?
It's not bad.
Speaking of harass, hello Moon for a torrent. The lane just feels a little bit rough when Clockwork starts his rotations too, but I suppose it doesn't get scattered out. They miss their sentry ward. That camp is still blocked, and they use their other sentry ward to block the close camp. So Mineski have no pull options in their defensive tri lane.
Yep, this is a disaster in top lane. They have to leave because tower is like right where the creeps are, so they can't.
Oh, they get aggressive instead. A 2-second stun over on the Venomancer. Feel it, the Frost Blast go. It was Mineski who wanted to be aggressive. Jabs was rotating around the back, but he kind of ran to crit, so he couldn't get the proper loop around.
So where does Jabs find a home? If he stays around top, he has to play way too closely around the tower. He can get this 2-minute bounty, but in terms of kill opportunities, there's just not that many for him.
Looks like he's worried about actually moving down onto the 2-minute bounty. Tried to avoid the torrent, but still gets hit by it.
Yeah, and the mid lane is a Mirana. So there's not too much for him to do there. Maybe once Puck is 6. And then bottom lane is just so far for him to move. But yeah, getting bounty seems to be the play here. I wonder if they are going to bring more sentries in because, okay, it looks like Jabs is going to get a sentry. Does he get this ward? Okay,
yeah, he will.
So this is really important for them. However, the earliest they're going to be able to pull is like 310. So that's still a lot of value from that one ward that EG had.
Yeah, but now that they go a little bit more blind on the side, they will not see the movement of Jabs, because that was the other upside about that observed ward they had. It was able to watch the movement.
Dude,
so either Crit commits a little bit more, or they're just happy to say Arteezy is strong enough to tank up anything which is thrown at him on the top lane.
He definitely is at this point. I mean, he can buy a TP scroll too, and he'd be completely fine. But Pugna almost even as he has with Monkey King. Puck pretty even with Marana.
It's one of those fun matchups too. Like, do you really dodge it with Decrepify? I understand, like, it will at least stop the Monkey King from attacking, but it won't stop, like, the slap down.
I think Monkey King just straight up wins most one-on-one matchups. In melee, or against melee hitters in particular, but, I mean, the thing about it is Universe went a double move speed build. Pugna's fast. He has 400 move speed with just boosting the Windlace, so he should be able to kind of outrange Monkey King's pseudo-rangeness. And he's going to get a trade-off on. Oh my god, this is looking really bad for Universe.
Oh, there's the slap down, but it's not enough.
But what is he supposed to do now? Like, he can't go anywhere. He was trying to buy a Soul Ring, but he can't get a Secret Shot right now. He's going to have to hoof it home. It's not good.
And then push Crit to the lane. So, well, you said it, the 1v1 matchup. If he didn't keep his distance, life is harder.
I also think Ice is very mechanically skilled in the one-on-ones. I think that's like why you see him generally just absorb so much pressure, because he is a great laner.
Yeah.
Man,
that's what I was kind of almost. I was going to be really sad if he ended up playing a Venomance, because it's like one of those laners. It's like, oh, mechanically skilled, it's great. It's like watching Samael play a Viper. It's just sad.
Yeah, notice they never pick it for him anymore. It's a waste.
Yeah,
there's not that much upside.
A waste of talent.
Mid lane.
Yeah, they're looking for the torrent. It's not going to connect on Moon, and the X comes out a little bit later. Samael's not going to throw the arrow. He understands phase shift. He's going to easily be able to dodge anything which is thrown at him. Still a nice contest in the mid. Like, the CS is neck and neck. 30-10 for the Puck against the 26-6 of Samael. So everything's pretty even on the lanes. We're 5 minutes in. This may actually be the longest time we've waited all day for first blood to strike. I know Script's going to get a little bit nervous, trying not to be Stevie Wonder.
The bar was set really low last week, so I think they're good.
You'll be fine, Script. You'll be fine. We have confidence in you. And Melini and I are looking around the map as well, so really it's a joint effort if we miss first blood. And Universe is keeping...
So it looks like it might be bottom. We see Jabs coming in, but at the same time, we also see Crit TPing in, kind of expecting this maneuver to come around. Neither team has really used a scan yet, but Jabs will run right on top of Crit.
Yeah. So Jabs saw him. I don't know if Jabs actually scattered out the fact the Observe Ward was placed down.
No, he definitely did not. That would have to be some hacks level stuff.
Like really quick click.
But he is really close to level 6 on Monkey King. I don't know. It's still pretty hard for him to get a kill. He's actually dodging a lot of the blasts with the tree dance. I saw him try it last time, but he didn't get it off. But I mean, that's pretty nice. Tree dance doesn't take any mana just to go on the trees, and it's usually pretty hard to avoid because cast point's pretty low and the area is large. But Monkey King's pretty fast.
Effective way to jump out to safety. Puck was able to have a lot of free time actually in the mid.
Yeah.
Samael left to go jungle just to try and like efficiency farm with arrow and gave Puck almost a half level. Actually, it's a little bit more than a half level advantage over Samael. Now Crit wants to come back in again. A quick torrent. It's not going to connect. Phase shift. Samael jumps forward. And it's going to be a dream coil. He'll dodge the arrow. The stun is out from Crit Moon. He thinks about jumping away, but he doesn't need to anymore. That attack up the hill. Crit's low. The stick charges. The damage from Jabs. The cogs burn. It barely reaches, but barely is enough. Jabs is low. It's going to be a 2-for-1 trade-off. Both of the mid. Moon is the only man standing as he lost his clockwork and Fierce rotation came in way too late. Not much he could have done there. But then Mineski try and capitalize up on the top. Mushi teaming up to attack into Arteezy. The damage he's sticking from both Gale as well as Sting. Mushi too close to the tower. He'll live, however. It's Magic 1 charges giving him the life to survive the attacks from the Tier 1 tower and stop Crit from claiming something in return.
This is really bad for them, for EG that is. They're losing the early game with a Lich. And I can kind of see it that they're trying to get some farm for the CK, but that gank on the Puck did not work well. I think they tried to like X him into the arrow, but there was some miscommunication there. It didn't look like he got stunned. Maybe he casted the coil at that exact moment, but ooh, that's a lot of damage.
Yeah, that blast from Universe is nice. It's not going to stop Jabs, who interrupted Arteezy and then helped set up for Ice Ice Ice.
Yeah, so Puck was able to survive. They got 2 kills in the mid lane, and the return kill they didn't even get the experience for because they were all dead. So that's, and even so, it was just a clog. So who cares?
Yeah, the expendable 4. But even as expendable, like his levels are still looking pretty damn good. Like everyone's managed to find a decent amount of levels, but when you're running a Lich on the EG side, you kind of expect some level of imbalance. But the overall experience gain, like, it's actually in favor of Mineski by about 700, 750. The gold, however, is a little bit more of a different story. Mineski, for everything they've earned, gives them a 3k lead. And they're looking for more. Chasing down after the Chaos Knight. He's going to actually try and jump out with Phantasm. Not going to work. The Clockwork Cogs lock in Arteezy. And Moon will arrive to get a 2-man Dream Call. They'll take this on both the supports. Universe, what do you really do here? He puts down the blast of the Cripifying Clockwork, so he'll take decent damage, but it doesn't stop Moon from diving underneath the Tier 1 tower. They'll easily pick up Fear. Moon with his double kill. Ice 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 was watching from the vantage spot. Camera on a tree, he basically was at the end of that. And Mineski up 7-1, 9 minutes in after what was 6 minutes without a kill.
Look at Clockwork's net worth. He actually had an urn before that fight. So now they can get so much damage on this because he got, what, 3 charges from that? 4 charges, actually, I think?
Yep, he's down to 1, though. He burnt everything to bring people up.
But this means they don't really have any downtime. Both the Puck and the Monkey King both have clarities running on them, so they're able to transition very quickly from 3 kills, boom, urn up, clarity up, get the tower, and then keep pressing on forward. This is a big problem. Clockwork is number 5 on net worth, and he was just running around on top. And keep in mind, you're versus the Lich.
Yep.
Or I mean, you still are versus the Lich. But
When you're a Lich and you're behind, the sacrifice doesn't work. Jab's trying to close the distance on Universe. While he might have the net worth, he doesn't have the experience yet to hit level 6, but Moon, Dream Call is already back off cooldown. Here comes Monkey King jumping forward. Stick slaps Universe. Fear wants something in return, and maybe they can get it. Monkey King, no way to jump out, so it's a big kill for Samael to rotate in and take. And with the Haste Rune, the chase can continue. He's got a bottle charge, which will at least give him the arrow, knowing that Moon's going to jaunt himself away and back up to the Shrine. The Shrine is down for the moment. 30 seconds before it comes off cooldown, so Mineski will have to go back to base to regen.
Man, Jabs didn't really help out his teammate there. Maybe could have cogged to help out the Monkey King a little bit more, but kind of decided to just peace out ASAP. I'm not sure what he's saving up for in his goal, which is 1,400 at the moment. It's a lot of money to work around with.
Oh, that's a nice pickoff for Samael. Rotated towards the mid, took out Ninja Boogie.
Yeah, free kill with a haste, it looks like. Another thing about the Pugna in this game is he can't build normal items. Like, normally you build Aether into anything else, but he needs to force that first this game because he's versus Clock. But a big problem is he also...
Goodbye, Arteezy. He's dead no matter what happens here. Be it denied or be it just kill straight out, and just kill straight out. Ice 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 will claim him.
The Pugna also needs armor, though, because the Boundless Strike is going to do so much damage. We talk about Pugna's strengths a lot, but one of his weaknesses, he has 2 armor right now. That's... Especially with a Tranquil Nerf, he has strengths right now. Oh my
boy,
goodness.
The hook shot's up as well, and no! Jams! He saw both of them almost stationary. Crit gets solo killed up by Ice Ice Ice.
They're getting run over by Monkey King.
Yeah. Jabs actually did still kill him anyway. And they're moving over. Samael maybe looking for an opportunity. Ninja Boogie, now level 6, has Global Silence available. So you got Global Silence from him. You got Veil up on the Puck. So Amplification is in droves from him. Mushi has now decided to go to bottom lane to try and play the experience game. And then Hand of Midas for Jab's build.
I think with the way he's going right now, it's fine. He doesn't really need a 4-staff. Blade Mail is like whatever this early. So I think Midas is going to be great for him.
EG's not doing enough damage for the Blade Mail to be justified just yet.
Yeah, they're kind of just... They're going to huddle around. Ooh, looks like an offensive smoke. It looks like it's going to be on the puck, but they're going to have to hit a torrent. There's no boat yet, so they don't have that much lockdown for him.
They almost came close enough. Okay, Crit came close enough to break the smoke on Moon. But you got a hook shot off cooldown in 3 seconds time and a Monkey King. Basically tree on top of tree action in the mid.
But look at Mushi. Mushi's bounced. They actually... That was kind of a good play from EG. They tried to have one of the heroes show mid. They showed with the torrent, and then they used 3 to smoke bottom. But Mushi read it like a book. He dropped his wards, and he's like, I know there's smoke. I'm just going to bounce. And it's safe. They get a free tower as a result of Mushi's nice maneuver.
Yep. But you also saw the fact like EG were not going to fight. Like Arteezy was using Phantasm to farm in the jungle.
Yeah,
that's the level EG is hit.
That's close to rock bottom.
Yep. That's almost like full bracer build. You just know things are wrong.
Maybe he can sell his golden shield and buy some real items.
I'm sorry, you can't transfer real money into in-game economy.
If only. If only.
The game's that broken yet. EG used TI winnings to win games. Ninja Boogie straight TP out. Just global silences. Expecting Crit to have Torrent, X-Mark, anything would have actually killed him off. So defensive global silence to make sure EG continue to get nothing.
He didn't actually really need to be there, this Ninja Boogie. But maybe he's just playing the position 5 game. It's like, yeah, well, if they kill me, then so be it. They're just wasting time. But I think any kill is going to be a huge positive for EG, even if it's on the position 5.
Oh, the jump. They go hook shot. It was a trap on top lane. And Arteezy will fall. Lich ulti flying forward as it bounce back into the creep wave. And Jams creates space with his cogs. The Lich ulti hasn't done enough. In fact, Moose just jumped back in once more. The ship will hit Jams. And thanks to Universe's Drain, they'll end his killing spree. And the Park has bailed up a little bit further north. Now he's jumped back in again, looking for the kill. Fear, welcome back to Dota, old man. Moon will drop him. No other support's going to arrive, but while you end up losing a 2-for-1, I suppose at this point for EG, that's a good trade.
Not if one of them's your CK.
No.
CK is also not going for Midas. I believe he was building an armlet. Well, he has a Gloves of Haste. There's a reason why he built the Gloves of Haste first over the other pieces of the armlet. He's like, I might want to Midas escape. I might want it.
Yeah. Hey, if he gets one big kill, then maybe, like, if he kills off the puck, there's a huge injection of money, and the CK starts on the road to recovery. But
it's really tough with a silencer in the game. If Ninja Boogie is watching at all, they have to like torrent into multiple stuns, or he has to get hit by an arrow. So it is potentially possible, but he's been playing pretty safely, I would say. He's 5-0-3 right now. Aggressive smoke. They do have pretty good wards on EG side, like 2 around the mid lane, but now it looks like things are going to get a little bit hairy. Fear does reveal himself on the bottom. That's a pretty sneaky obs ward that will unlikely get dewarded. And
they're pressuring hard. Here goes Jules, perfect. Hook shot, jabs, hook shot forward. Fear attempting to deny to the Mud Golem.
But look at that. I mean, that ward's going to stay up, too. They're like, how did they know I was here? And he might even drop another sentry ward in the jungle because he kind of expects that he hook shot him during nighttime. So you know they have vision somewhere.
Yeah.
But you just don't know where.
Well, you got to expect it's further to the west, right? Or a little bit up to the north. That's an odd position for an
you probably expect like right there where that really right on top of the stairs.
We're expecting right there or there
further
or
south.
Here or basically anywhere that isn't here.
Pretty much on top of the stairs to the left. So that's...
Well, at least you'll see the sentry that got planted down. So you take home the consolation prize.
Of what? 0 XP, 0 gold, and...
Hey, I'm not saying it's a great consolation prize. It's like when you play Wheel of Fortune, you end up losing at the main event, don't get any money, and you get to play the board game later on just to remind your entire family that, no, I didn't win the car, I didn't get the boat. Thank you, Salt.
But I was on TV, right?
I was on TV. Huge victory.
That's one of those Sentry Wars that you see and you're just like, I'm not even going to bother killing it.
It reveals my position. Okay, Sumail's going to bother to kill it. Something in return.
He was invis at the time. Value.
For Mineski. Well, hey, Sumail's the big killer on EG's side. He's sitting at 4-1. He's the only person on EG that's actually claimed kills compared to like the Clockwork, who's 5-2-8, the Puck, who's 6-0-4.
So let's talk about a little bit about how they got into this position. Right now, it's very far into Mineski's favor, but firstly, Monkey King generally has to be a draft. I've seen it a lot as a 1 and 2, and it's been losing a lot, but I really like it in a position 3 because I think the hero farms very poorly, and he's just great at like always. He's great in one-on-one situations, firstly, and then secondly, he's just good at being super annoying, which is Ice's specialty. But they put him in a one-on-one matchup that wasn't great for the Pugna. Like they put the CK and the Lich up top, and the Kunkka was started off like mid/top. So he's isolated in this 1v1 and just like bullies around Universe. The CS was like kind of close, but once he gets higher levels in Jingu, there's no chance that Pugna is going to be able to survive in the lane.
It's just like our Huskar pickup from yesterday, where you just like, it's like, I don't fully get it though, like the secret draft.
Well, which pick do you not get?
Just the 5th pick, where you
The CK?
Well, yeah, well, not the CK. I think the CK was fine, but it just seemed like the laning phase, they had a lot of confidence, maybe too much confidence in the Lich and the CK to really function on the off lane.
Well, where do they go? There's no home for them.
Yeah, but can you just run the CK versus the Monkey King? That's... all right, Fear's going to get ripped apart. That's a nice torrent into double ship, but thanks to the Wukong command, EG having a hard time getting in close, especially when you get that Nova off. Sumail's going to end up ticking down. They get the Monkey King, so Arteezy gets money, but Mushi gets a triple kill. And EG are all dead.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just don't know where EG was meant to go right with their draft against Mineski. It seems like all the lanes were going to be difficult. The Venomancer was early indicated. The Monkey King seemed to be the perfect comfort 5th pick for Mineski.
So I think they needed better roaming around from the Kunkka. I actually think he parked himself too much on top lane because Clockwork was kind of threatening a kill there, but it was kind of a feign, because they couldn't have actually killed them under the tower. CK is really tanky, and they have a Lich, so it's always going to be at the T1 tower. This fight, yeah, great hookshot coming out from Jabs. Yeah, that's and great silence timing coming out from Ninja Boogie. They just throw all their ultimates down. Ice plays very well in the trees. He also hits most of his boundless strikes. It sounds easy, but it's actually not. That spell is very thin. It's not as wide as Fissure, so hitting the heroes that he's been hitting, especially with Jingu, is going to make a big difference when you're playing the hero. So yeah, they weren't able to get that much accomplished top. Mid lane, Puck has an upper edge in a lot of matches, was able to out-CS Sumail, and then bottom lane, as I mentioned before, was just a disaster for them. So they really need the Kunkka to kind of make one of their lanes a win, perhaps the mid lane. Ideally the bottom, I would say. You just keep attacking him and put him in a position where he can't get any Jingus, but that was never really a possibility for them. And after that, it just went pretty poorly. Because Pugna's great at teamfight and great at pushing towers, but everyone's just dying constantly.
Yeah, it kind of is the March of the Dead at the moment. But let's think about how they get back up. So there was one nice thing that happened in that fight. It was the fact that Arteezy got himself his first kill of the game, a large injection of money. He's finally got the armlet up and running. And maybe he is the critical thing we could look at to EG. How much does Chaos Knight need before he can start fighting strongly against Mineski? Crit at the moment almost feels like the hare the Greyhounds are chasing. You know they're going to get it.
Yeah.
But it's also creating more space. Chaos Knight is actually building into Shadowblade. So is that the way in for EG? Is it like now you've got your arm, at least you can have your strength to fight with. Do you look for that opportunity through the Shadowblade initiation, and then where's your follow-up?
Yes, because right now their biggest problem is opening up the map. One of the big downsides about Lich, like we talk about, Sacrifice being amazing and Frost Arm being amazing. Well, one of the downsides is you're constantly like pulling in your lanes, and it actually decreases the area that you can farm when you're this late into the, or when it's way past the laning phase. So they need to expand the map somehow. And CK threatening the support kills, like Silencer's a free kill. Even Veno, I would say, is a free kill. He's not going to die afterwards with Armlet. Like if he just Phantasms and then Chaos Bolts right on top of him with Reality Rift, the Veno's going to die. So that's 2 heroes, and maybe even the Puck might die too if he leads from the invisibility with a stun. So there's 3 heroes that have to be a lot more scared, and then they can farm out a little bit more, which could eventually get them back into the game. I think it's the right idea, because what other items going to help them, really? Like, BKB's not going to win them a team fight. Heart is just not a possibility at this point in the game.
Yeah, they need that initiation. Right now, they're still trying to play the counter-initiation game, waiting for Moon to initiate in, but it's going to be jabs. Hook shots forward, finds the partner. Netherward's still in a good spot for this one. With the global silence, all EG can do is back up for a second and hope they survive long enough, and they're going to. Jabs will fall quickly. Arteezy found the target, combining it with Samael, but now Diffusal Blade is on Monkey King with the Wukong command, holding 3 EG heroes in position. It is a complete disaster in the tree lines. Even the Yule Scepter cancelling the exit from Crit. What do? You die. And you may even GG.
You contemplate what went wrong with this game. This is just an utterly, brutally disastrous
brutally disastrous. I love combining big words.
This is something else.
Yeah. Hey, I remember you. It's the upside, right? You're only 22 minutes in. At least you get to respawn quickly to potentially defend your tier 3 tower. But this is the fight, and then Arteezy is like, yes, finally I get something. But ISIS just ruined the day. It was the fresh item too. EG had no idea that Diffusal Blade was ready.
And the BKB2 on Mushi. Very safe, but you don't want to be giving up kills like ISIS did a little bit earlier. I think Jabs has really been the playmaker here. He's done so many things this game. Firstly, he caught the hook shot on that play, but even starting from the beginning of the game, I think he kept Crit up there, which forced the 2 one-on-ones, which lost them 2 of the lanes. Top, I would say, even with a Lich, was kind of a wash for them because of the bounty rune being taken by Jabs. I think he got both bounty runes, and they got both bounty runes at the start too. So you're like, your first few minutes of the game aren't even slightly favored your way. So yeah, no chance of a Roach steal right here. There's just not really anything happening. Arteezy is just sitting there with Shadow Amulet, maybe being able to catch out a puck. So this could be really, really big for them if he decides to farm up the wave.
Yeah,
no, he's out of
but
there.
he doesn't. He's playing the range game, keeping the pressure on, because you know Mineski want to go up there. So while we're watching the replay, Mineski actually pushed the top tower down, and it's down to 250 HP. So it really won't take much to go high ground against Evil Genius. They already feel confident about it, so EG will try and catch him off guard by actually running into the smoke of Mineski. There's a quick rocket up. They don't see anything as the Moonlight Shadow protecting EG. The arrow perfectly connects onto the clockwork with the torrent. The global silence, it won't really matter because already EG are doing the damage inside the pit, but how strong is Ice? Not that strong. Crit and Arteezy is surviving. Moose jump back in again, but Mushi, so much life, so much damage. EG are pushing up the daisies, and the Aegis Immortal will burn, but GG, well played. It's probably the shortest game of the day, 25 minutes, and Mineski have firmly shot their boot up the EG rear.
That was one of the cleanest games I've seen in this entire tournament. Very solid, solid play from Jabs. I think you really set everything up and just controlled the entire game with his clockwork. Well played.
It really was. Fantastic performance from Mineski. They've got to be confident coming out of that one, and Evil Geniuses
they had that really long game today. That was a rough series.
They did. It's been a very long day for them. Obviously, if they lose this, then...
But no excuses. Bounce back.
That's it. Well, they can go and have themselves a quick beverage and then find all the excuses they don't want to take, and we'll come back for game 2.
Get the alpha, be the alpha.
Welcome back to the PGL Open Bucharest. Evil Geniuses have lost in record time, the fastest game so far here of the 2 group days at least, and they go down to a fighting Mineski. It turns out the better green hero is definitely the Veno. Winter was right. We're back with our panel members. Winter, all joking aside, that was pretty devastating.
Yeah, like I said, the lanes were really important. They lost. They went with Lich, and they still lost what? Okay, they lost 2 of the lanes. Bottom lane was quite even in terms of CS. The Pugna against Monkey King, but the Pugna died to the Clockwork Gangs. But I was quite surprised that they actually lost the top lane.
I thought Lich CK would. I thought the CK was going to be like the one at least rising thing for EG.
Well, that's what we thought out of that draft. It was going to be the safest option they had.
Yeah, but
especially because the lane option.
Still, I didn't feel comfortable like going aggro lane against a Veno. I don't think that's always a good idea.
Like here we see it's 4.5 minutes in, and look at CK's last hits compared to the Veno. They really suffered. I think Jabs just really destroyed this game. His movements around the map. He forced the Kunkka to kind of stay there for a while, and the rotation just didn't work well for EG.
If you think about the lanes as well,
yeah,
Veno, Silencer, Clockwork, they're not weak.
No, they're not. They're definitely not weak.
They're definitely not weak. Even though they managed to block the pull camps for like what, a minute or 2 minutes. They brought another sentry to actually deward the pull camp.
Yeah.
They didn't get the first deward, but still, I was kind of expecting the lane to go a bit more well for EG.
Yeah, I thought the CK would get stuff. I thought the other 2 was going to be a little bit more Mineski favored, but it was...
They snowballed too much.
It was a massive snowball. Like, look at this. We see the Monkey King jumps in behind the towers here at no risk. And Moon also. Moon on the puck his rotations were on point. The rotation with Jabs bottom when they got the 3 heroes, and then Ben pointed out that Jabs had just picked up an urn. So he got like 4 urn charges, they got multiple clarities, so they took out the tower after killing 3 heroes as well, and that's a huge snowball factor definitely coming into the game.
26-7 overall, 13 of those went to Moon.
Yeah, it was very solid puck performance. The globals as well were very well played by Ninja Boogie, the few that actually did go off. This one I think is probably one of the most important globals. I think if he was able to actually cast the Chain Frost, he would have actually immediately killed 2 heroes there. The Clockwork and the Monkey would have actually just gone down. Because they were standing right on top of each other.
Next to each other. But I think overall, the adjustment should be like the lanes though. Like, do they actually really need to go aggro lane against Mineski? I understand the previous series when they were against Vici. Vici had a really weak lane. The aggro, it's okay. The aggro lane, they beat their lane. They crushed the carries lane, and they were able to snowball their carry out of control. But this game, I don't think Mineski's lanes are actually that weak. They're actually they're pretty decent.
Yeah, Veno Silencer is just that DOT damage just really starts to build up, and Clockwork. I mean, Jabs was everywhere, but the fact that he can just kind of walk in versus these 2 heroes and not be at too much of a risk.
But do you think that the reason they went aggro lane is because they feel like Pugna cannot lane alone top? Like, even with Kunkka helping the Pugna, the lane is not possible for him, so they want to give the Pugna a 1v1 matchup, which they thought Pugna would be favored, but in the end it was 50-50. You think that might be the reason why?
I guess it must. I think they just wanted to have like that static farming CK top and slow down the Veno's farm a bit, because they emphasized really heavily block the pull, block the secondary pull, and then deny the wave back. But they didn't. The Veno was ahead in farm the whole time of the CK.
But why would you actually go to the like Veno is not a hero that you want to aggro lane in a lot of situations.
It has to be for the Pugna.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking maybe the bigger reason is because they want the Pugna to get a good game, because we've seen. Like, even last week at Star, there certain games where offlane Pugna, you got shut down, you're just pretty much fooled the whole game. You're not going to do anything.
But it's like, what would you prefer, your CK to be completely shut down or your Pugna, right?
They didn't expect the lanes to go so bad.
Yeah,
they were kind of expecting at least 6-4 maybe top with the Lich, and Pugna gets a good matchup bottom, then it would have sort of like made it worth it. But in the end of the day, they lost top, they lost mid, bottom got gank, all lanes lost.
And then it's a Pugna lineup where you have no towers, and it's like already like 15-20 minute mark or something, and yeah, your draft just falls apart completely.
We'll take a look at the scoreboard in just a moment, and it shows bad reading as far as EG fans are concerned. The top 4 of the 5 players were all on the Mineski side. The only bright highlight in terms of statistics, at least, were Samao 6-3-1, but that's not really relevant in a game where the rest of his team had 1 kill between them.
I still think out of the 3 cores, Arteezy is the most important player. Sumail can have a bad game, he'll come back.
Yeah.
Like, and Universe is just Universe, he's going to be okay. But if Arteezy has a bad game, usually the game it's gonna be very difficult for them because a lot of their games they rely on RTZ to like kind of make space because Sumail, like we talk about it, Sumail and Universe, they both farm a lot as the other two cores. So somebody has to do something to create the space necessary for everyone to farm.
Which is a great point because the MVP for this particular game was on the other side of the team and did exactly that. Jabs for Mineski was the MVP. Just all-round great game, enabled his team brilliantly.
Great Clockwork game overall, and he played it to pretty much perfection. Went through it just like he said, you know. He likes to get the Midas, got it at an incredibly fast pace. His Urn came out in a very fast timing as well, and yeah, he was everywhere. He ganked every single lane, counter-ganked as well, got first blood. Couldn't ask for more from a Clockwork in that type of game.
Good stuff from the star player on MVP, on Mineski this time round, the MVP himself. We will turn our attention fairly shortly, of course, to the next draft. Could be a 2-0.
Could be.
Unlikely, considering that the other two series in this group have both been best of threes that have got all the way.
Yeah,
so we don't know. Well, we were discussing this.
Yeah.
I mean, like
they turn it up when they lose a little bit. It always just seems they just like
because it kind of pisses them off, right? They do play better somehow when they're pissed off because they're like, well, how did we lose that? That's ridiculous. And we should have done that badly. And then next game they come back, they've got that resilience and that fortitude and experience to come back and make it 1-1.
Paul is calling EG next game. No draft, nothing. Paul says EG is going to win.
That's pretty bold.
I'm not too sure.
You're putting words into my mouth now, Winter.
They suffered really heavily in early game and laning phase when they're playing with the Lich, so it's definitely a bit of a concern.
Yeah, definitely need to mix it up. Before we get to that draft, why don't we check in with our social media questions, because we haven't had any today, and we haven't dipped in there, and I know that a number of you have put in the questions, so we'll take one right now and try and get through as many as we can during this downtime. Which CN team benefited most from the shuffle? Was there any team that benefited from the shuffle in China?
I mean, they've been losing so much lately, so it's kind of hard to say. But
the Vici Gaming today actually looked quite good. They exceeded they exceeded my expectations. They gave EG a really good run. They almost won the series.
The change up with ROTK, putting him as coach.
Yeah, I think he's a very good leader in the game.
Yeah.
He was actually drafting. I saw him. I saw him sitting down on one of the PCs. Like, why else would you be sitting down?
Yeah, I mean, he took the computer completely.
Yeah,
he did. I think LFY, or not FY, LGD getting FY.
LG.
Really?
I think they've like, gained a decent amount. Like they have.
It's experience.
It's experience. The only reason I say this one is because maybe every time I've seen him playing, or Somnus we'll call him for now. Every time I've been seeing him play, it's usually just him by himself. Shut up, Paul. So people aren't confused. It's like he's been like alone by himself like, on his team, and now he actually has these other star players kind of back him up. That's why I would kind of say.
But the other team I expected to do well with after the shuffle was Lamb's team. But last week they were really disappointing at Starlighter.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they actually benefited from the trade. So not sure. But
a hard question.
Yeah. So far our TK's team, I think. Looking good.
Okay, all right. Let's take one more question, if we can, from the pot. Do keep them coming. I know we haven't got through all of them, but we can't possibly get through all of the questions, but I'm sure we'll get through as many as we can. Coaches in boots. Have you noticed a change in how teams draft? Well, we just mentioned that, actually, yes. Teams have started to alter ROTKs. Actually, like, everyone, get away from the computer. This is mine. I'm drafting.
I think it's a good idea, though.
I like this too.
But as a player, would you be a bit like, Christ, what's he going to draft for me now?
Think about it. The 5 other people, they're going to just put their heads down. We're going to play good Dota. We trust the coach. He's going to draft, and he's going to do the...
But what if he drafts you something you're not comfortable with?
But you have to trust him. It's very difficult to make this work. But I think if the team allows this to work and everyone can work around it, it'll be really good. One person takes away the burden of the captain.
But can't a good captain do that? Can't a fear do that, for instance, in a team? Can he not know what all the players like? And does he not have that conversation with them?
What if you help him and he just focuses on the game and he commands the team in the game and you do with all the picks? And he just, wouldn't you play better? Less burden?
I don't know. I'm asking you. I'm not so sure, but...
I like the way it's benefited Mineski, personally, having their coach in there.
Yeah.
I think he's had a very positive role. I mean, they got second place at Starlighter. They're looking a lot more solid here, too.
Yeah.